Hi there. Restorative yoga as a tool for creative living. So I've been wanting to make this video for a few days now, and I've just been waiting for a good hair day. But I think this is as good as it's going to get. I'm teaching a workshop on Sunday in Munich at Jivamukti about this very topic. And since I know most of you won't be there joining me in Germany, I wanted to share with you 4 ideas, 4 takes on how restorative yoga can support a life of creativity. So I don't just mean that for people who are artists or people who make their living as an artist, or even as a hobby, people who have creative hobbies. But really, my definition of creativity comes very much from the book, The Artist's Way, where she talks about, and I'll pop that link in the description, she talks about creative living, about living a life full of wonder and curiosity and joy and fresh ideas. And I think that restorative yoga can really support that. So here's my list of 4 ideas. Number 1, silence. So restorative yoga, a huge component of restorative yoga is the silence that we experience and absorb while we're doing the poses. So if I offer in a class a 20-minute Shavasana, that for me means 20 minutes of silence where the students are getting to have their own experience. So those of you who are joining me live, let me know if you've ever done a 20-minute silent Shavasana. I'm curious. And in the sense, the connection to creativity for me is that creativity is very much about listening. And we can't listen if it's not silent. Speaking of, I'm hearing some hissing from my Bluetooth. I'm going to turn that off. Number 2, space. So restorative yoga, when we practice, it is a structured way to offer ourselves some empty space. And we have to make space in order to be available for creativity. Marie Kondo, the organizational masterwoman, talks a lot about that we can't welcome new things into our lives when our life or our physical space is cluttered with all of the old detritus and the old stories from our past. So really, when we make space with restorative yoga, for example, by giving ourselves a series, a sequence, a kind of surrounding of spaciousness, 90 minutes or 2 hours on Sunday at Jivamukti, 2.5 hours of space that's really open. What we do, what I've experienced so many times in my practice, is that we open ourselves up to become a channel for the creative energy that's already living inside of us. So that's number 2 is space. Number 1 was silence. Number 2, space. Open ourselves to become channels for creative energy. Huge. Number 3 is courage. So creativity takes courage to go that crucial, enormous step from 0 to 1. That's creativity. Where there was nothing, we're now bringing something. And that takes a level of courage, a varying level of courage. Sometimes it takes more than others. Sometimes when we're blocked, it takes a lot. So I love this Elizabeth Gilbert quote. I love her book, Big Magic. I'll pop that as well over in the description, the link to Big Magic. It's all about creativity. And what she says, she's the author of Eat, Pray, Love, which people either love or they hate. I loved that book. So in terms of courage, she asks the question, do you have the courage to bring forth the treasures that are hidden within you? And that's actually a very yogic concept. That idea, finding that which was never lost, is embedded in the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, in one of the most ancient texts of our modern practice. So when we yogaschitta vritti nirodha, when we calm or still the fluctuations of the mind, we are told that what we uncover underneath is this kind of gym, or what she calls the treasures, Elizabeth Gilbert calls the treasures that are hidden within us. So that's number 3. It takes a lot of courage. I mean, I've always said that restorative yoga in general takes a lot of courage to lie down, to cover your eyes, to open your arms, to make yourself vulnerable to and available, and to let go of all of the distractions that we're so addicted to. When we have 1 second by ourselves in silence, most of us, myself included, immediately our habit is to grab the phone. And it takes a lot of courage to lie down, be still, let go of the phone, let go of the distractions, and instead turn with a soft heart to our inner life, to our inner world, and to invite and allow the treasures, the information to bubble up. Number 4, the last one I want to share with you today on this video is surrender. So my philosophy is that I can't teach you creativity. It's not even really a skill that we can learn because it's so innate. But what I can encourage you to do, and perhaps teach, is to help you learn how to let go into your own creative energy. So there's a Yoga Sutra I want to reference that's very connected to surrender. But before I do, I want to say, I studied architecture and I have a creative practice. I produce online yoga courses, and I have a line of yoga jewelry. And the jewelry I really don't do for financial advantage. It's really a way of just keeping my hand in the game. I do these 3D printed prototypes and I have the pieces made, and it's a way of feeding that part of myself that just loves to make things and loves objects and design and quality. And so like this piece I'm obsessed with right now, it's just it says Jai on one side, which means victory to the good, and Moksha on the other side, which means liberation, ultimate freedom. And when I'm working on a new piece like this, I can get really tight. I can get really stuck. I can get really overwhelmed by doubt and like, what's the point of this? And I'm not going to sell any of these, or like, that critic voice in your mind. And what I have found over and over and over again is that the solution to that blockage in my creative life is not aggressively to try to push through it with more effort, because I have a lot of inner effort, inner Protestant. I'm seeing people saying yes to that. I have what I call my inner Protestant voice that I think we all have, no matter what religious background we are, that says, you're lazy, get up earlier, work harder, do more. And to me, the gift I can give myself in those moments is surrender, is to let go and to trust the creative energy that is already embedded and living inside of me. So in terms of surrender, the quote that I love, or the sutra that I love from the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, is from Pada 1, it's sutra number 12, Abhyasa and Vairagya. So Patanjali is talking about the components that we need for a successful yogic path, on our path, the kind of tools or the attributes that we need, the actions we need to take. And Abhyasa is determined effort. Many of us know that. We need to get out of bed. We need to get on the mat. We need to commit to practice. And I think that's sort of much more understood in our culture. We understand, the early bird gets the worm. Those type of expressions are everywhere. We understand the value of hard work. But what many of us, myself included, have more trouble with is the concept of vairagya, which is surrender. And it's just as important as the hard work. We have to let go. So those 4 ideas: silence, space, courage, surrender. Let me know if they resonate with you in the comments here. That's what I'm going to be talking about on Sunday. my creativity, my Restorative Yoga for Creative Living workshop. And I have a whole sequence planned that I just practiced yesterday. It was so fantastic. 2 hours, just me in my apartment doing restorative. I'm working. But no, let me know if you, in the comments, let me know if you want me to share the sequence with you, if you'd be interested. I'm happy to totally open source and give it away in the next video if you'd like to know what I intuitively sort of sense and feel is a wonderful way, a gentle sequence that's about opening and feeling safe and surrendering into our own creativity. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a lovely day. And I'm sending you all a big namaste across the skies. There you go.